Hello everybody, this is my new to me Miss Geico 36. I took it out today for its maiden run with me anyway, and I ran it only on 4S because I just wanted to get a feel for it before we upped the power. I did bring some batteries with me to be able to do 6S, but ended up not needing to or not able to do that. So but overall, the boat ran awesome on 4S. I was pleasantly surprised with how quick it was. I didn't put the GPS in it, but I would guess it was around 50 miles an hour or so. But you know, the thing that impressed me the most was actually the handling of the boat. It does really well with ovals, in my opinion, at least better than any other boat that I have so far. And you know, kind of drifts around the turns, and it's just a fun boat to drive. It's too bad that Horizon Hobby discontinued this thing, because it's probably one of the best boats they ever made, that you know, just from my short experience with it. But I mean, the reasons why they did that are obvious, right? Anytime, you know, people were blowing these things over left and right. I mean, even on 4S, I was on the verge of blowing it over. The only time I flipped it, I did flip it. The only time I did that was actually, it was a rollover where I was at mid-turn and hit a wake. It was not a blowover, but it would have blown over if I wasn't careful with it, especially driving into the wind. And there was some pretty substantial wind today. But, you know, people were tearing these things up. The guy that had this before me, I don't know which hull this was. This might have been his third hull that he had from Horizon. And he got even another hull from them. So, and I've got that hull that's a brand new, never hit the water. But you know what I figure is I'll get this one laid up with carbon, get it bulletproof, ironclad, as Big B would say, before we ever put 6S in it, before we ever shoot for 75, 80, who knows, maybe 100 plus in the future. But yeah, I mean, without being laid up, these things, when people blow them over and crash them at 70 miles an hour plus, I've seen videos of them completely coming apart, like the whole boat at the seam, or, you know, at least partially in other people's cases. So I don't want that to happen to this one. So I was just taking it pretty easy today, but despite that, it was a blast. All right, let's get into it. All right, this is the first time ever running Miss Geico. I got her on 4S right now, just because it's gonna get laid up. I don't want to run it on 6S until I get a chance to see how it drives. Oops. So that's 50% power on 4S. She handles nicely. Let's bump it up to 75. Driving one-handed here. Oh yeah. Now, this is a fun little boat. Let's put on 100% power 4S now. 4S is fine. Alright. It's getting light even on 4S. That's wild. I don't have the battery packs as far forward as they can be. That's definitely something to do with it. Heck yeah, that's awesome for some ovals. I think I like this better than the UL19 actually. That being said, we still need to get that dialed in. Oh my goodness. All right, we flipped it. I wasn't looking. Time to get the tugboat out. What are you doing up there, dude? Are you crazy? Whoa, that was close.
I need the ducks. I needed the ducks. I need the ducks.
Full trigger ovals, pretty much. I'm just slowing down where the wind is. Kind of drifts. I like it. No, that's bad. That's dirty water, dude. Does it turn left as well as it turns right? Kind of, yeah. Uh-oh. I'm not getting much turn out of it. I think the rudder might have kicked up. We definitely got left, but hardly any right. Oh, now we got lots of right. Oh, now we're going in circles. Oh. Oh, now we're going in right circles. This is weird. Oh, do I have one motor going? Oh, now we're turning. Something seems to be up with that rudder. Alright, let's bring it in. See what we got. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we got power from both motors.
I want the water bottle.
Oh, I thought that was just grass there. Oh no. Look, we dented our point a little. Oh no. Oh, yep, rudder kicked up. The rudder kicked up. All right, time to go home now. I'd say it's a successful maiden run. I was a little worried it wasn't going to be any fun on 4S, but I actually had a blast with it. I was considering putting it on 6S at the end there, but then the rudder kicked up. So on 4S, it was, I mean, the nose was coming up. It was already getting light, and you know, I didn't put these batteries all the way forward. I would have if I would have known that it was already going to be riding pretty dry. So, but we never got a chance to put 6S in it anyway, and that's probably for the better, because I want to keep this thing nice before it goes and gets laid up with some carbon. And then the other tiny little update is just that my little steering arm seemed to do its job pretty great. We rescued the supersonic wake. Tugboat did its job. I did unfortunately break this thing off the other day, one of the fire hoses. My son had fun playing with it today, and then these got crunched off as well recently. So we'll just glue them back on there. It's just for fun anyway. Alright, I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Okay, I wanted to show you a little project that I'm working on. It was the idea of Jeremy at Overpowered RC Boats. He needs a rudder for his Miss Geico 36 because they're not in production anymore, and he said, hey, could you 3D print one of those? And you know, first thing that comes to mind is like, I don't know if that's a great idea, but actually it yeah, it could work out. So I drew one up in CAD last night, which is pretty challenging because the little water passages, you know, they have to go straight down the middle initially, but then they can't come out the center of the rudder for obvious reasons, right? They have to come out on the side here, and you can't make, you know, you can't just like gradually take this water passage down to the side here. It has to come, it has to make a pretty abrupt turn right here. And in fact, I think they're just drilled like at a 90-degree angle in a metal rudder, traditionally. But anyway, I can get a lot more into that. It's kind of some interesting history that I have with doing this kind of thing in aerospace. But this is just made of PLA, which is not something that I would try and run on a boat expecting it to survive. But I'm gonna actually try and make these out of a carbon fiber reinforced nylon, which is extremely strong. And normally carbon fiber reinforced filaments for 3D printing are kind of a gimmick and a scam. They actually take away strength from the material because it introduces pockets of basically air bubbles into the material. It makes the layer bonding not as good, but certain very high-end filaments, it actually does what you would expect it to do by putting carbon fiber into a plastic, and it truly does reinforce it. You're getting metal-like strengths out of some of these materials, with the drawback being that they are quite brittle. But so this is for the UL-19. It's not for this boat, but I am going to make one for this boat, test it out and see how it goes out of the carbon fiber reinforced nylon. And depending how it holds up, we may, I've got the design now that could be pretty easily translated over to DMLS, which is direct metal laser sintering. Basically, you can get them 3D printed in titanium, stainless steel, Inconel, whatever you want, for a pretty reasonable price. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Stay tuned.